The Apostle Paul performed numerous miracles during his missionary journeys, including healing a man who was disabled since birth and even raising a young man named Eutychus from the dead. Paul lived such a miraculous life that people would touch him with a cloth, take the cloth to a sick person, and the sick person would be healed. Many Muslims are convinced that Muhammad performed miracles, but it's important to note, one, that stories about Muhammad's miracles were written more than a century after his death, two, that they were written during a time when Muslims were forging stories about their prophet like it was an Olympic sport, and three, that they were written in response to repeated challenges from Jews and Christians who wanted to know why Muhammad couldn't perform miracles. Our earliest Islamic source is the Quran, and the Quran repeatedly admits that Muhammad couldn't perform any miracles other than delivering the Quran. Surah 6, verse 37. And they say, why has not a sign been sent down to him from his Lord? Say, surely Allah is able to send down a sign, but most of them do not know. Surah 10.
This verse does not show that Prophet didn't perform miracles. This verse was sent down in Medina, and the biggest opinion was that Christians and Jews, especially the Jews, told the Prophet to have God talk to them. God revealed this verse. This happened after Mecca, when the Prophet had done the moon splitting to the Meccan Arabs.
And they say, why is not a sign sent to him from his Lord? Say, the unseen is only for Allah. Therefore wait. Surely I too, with you, am of those who wait. Surah 13, verse 7. And those who disbelieve say, why has not a sign been sent down upon him from his Lord? You are only a warner, and there is a guide for every people. Surah 13, verse 27. And those who disbelieve say, why is not a sign sent down upon him by his Lord? Say, surely Allah makes him who will go astray and guides to himself those who turn to him.
One is that they keep demanding the signs that they were specifically asking for. They would demand things like turning Safa into gold, making the mountains surrounding Mecca disappear, and in its place rivers, gardens, etc.
Could have hindered us that we should send signs, except that the ancients rejected them. And we gave to Samud, a she-camel, a manifest sign, but on her account they did injustice, and we do not send signs but to make men fear.
Signs mean those visible miracles which are presented as a proof of prophethood. The disbelievers from among the Quraysh were demanding such signs over and over again. This is to warn disbelievers, as if to say, it is the mercy of Allah that He is not showing such a sign, so that you might mend your ways. But in your folly you presume that such a sign cannot be presented. You should know that a sign is not being sent, because its renewal inevitably brings chastisements, and the community is annihilated. You can learn from the past history that those communities which disbelieved in the open signs were utterly destroyed, such as the people of Thamud. That is, miracles are not shown for fun. These are meant to warn the people that the Prophet is being helped by the Almighty, and that they should realize the terrible consequences of disobedience.
Surah 29, verses 50 to 51. And they say, why are not signs sent down upon him from his Lord? Say, the signs are only with Allah, and I am only a plain warner. Is it not enough for them that we have revealed to you the book which is recited to them?
That is, miracles by seeing, which one may be convinced that Muhammad, peace be upon him, is really a prophet of Allah. Second, that is, a book like the Quran has been sent down to you in spite of your being undeterred. It is not by itself a great miracle which should convince the people of your prophethood. Do they yet need another miracle after this? The other miracles were the miracles for those who witnessed them, but this miracle is ever present in front of them, It is being recited before them almost daily. They can witness it as much as when they like. Even after such an assertion and argument by the Quran, the audacity of those who try to prove that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was literate is astonishing. The fact, however, is that the Quran here has presented in clear terms that the Prophet, peace be upon him, being illiterate as a strong proof of his prophethood. The tradition which lent support to the claim that the Prophet, peace be upon him, could read and write, or had learned reading and writing later in his life, stand rejected at first glance. For no tradition opposed to the Quran can be acceptable, then this tradition the basis for an argument. Then these traditions in themselves are too weak to become the basis for an argument. One of these is a tradition from Bukhari that was when the Prophet Treaty of Hudaybiyah was being written down. The representative of the disbelievers of Makkah objected to the word Rasulullah being added to the name of the Prophet, peace be upon him. At this, the Prophet ordered the writer, Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, to, cro- to cross out the word Rasulullah and write Muhammad bin Abdullah instead. Ali refused to cross out Rasulullah. Then the Prophet, peace be upon him, took it in his own hand, struck down the word himself, and wrote Muhammad bin Abdullah. But this tradition from Bara bin Azib appears in 4 places in Bukhari and at 2 places in Muslim, and everywhere in different words. At one place in Sahih Bukhari, the word of this tradition are to the effect. The Prophet, peace be upon him, told Ali to strike out the words. He submitted that he could not do that. At last, the Prophet, peace be upon him, crossed them out with his own hand. In the same book, the second tradition is to the effect. Then he, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said to Ali, cross out Rasulullah. He said, by God, I shall never cross out your name. At last, the Prophet, peace be upon him, took the document and wrote, this is the treaty concluded by Muhammad bin Abdullah. The disparity in the tradition clearly indicates that intermediary reporters have not reported the voters Bara bin Azib, may Allah be pleased with him, accurately. Therefore, none of the report can be held as perfectly reliable, so that it could be said with certainty that the Prophet had written the words Muhammad bin Abdullah with his own hand. Probably when Ali refused to wipe out the word Rasulullah, the Prophet might have himself wiped it off after finding out the place where it was written, and then might have gotten the word Ibn Abdullah substituted by him or by some other writers. Other traditions show that there were 2 writers who were writing down the peace treaty, Ali and Muhammad bin Maslama Fat al-Bari. Therefore, it is not impossible that what one writer did not do was done by other writer. However, if Prophet, peace be upon him, actually wrote his name with his own hand, there are plenty instances of this in the world. The illiterate people learn to write their own name, although they cannot read or write anything else. The other tradition on whose basis it has been claimed that the Prophet was literate has been reported by Ibn Abi Shayba and Umar bin Shabba from Mujahid. It says the Prophet, peace be upon him, had learned reading and writing before his death. But in the first place, it is a weak tradition on account of its link. It's said by Hafiz ibn Kathir. It is weak. It has no basis. Secondly, it is a weak otherwise also, for it is the Prophet, peace be upon him, had rarely learned reading and writing later in life. It would have become a well-known fact. Many of the companions would have reported it, and it would also have been known from which persons he had learned this. But no one except one man, Owen bin Abdullah, from whom Mujahid heard this, has reported it. And this Owen was not even a companion, but a follower of the companions, who does not at all tell from which companion or companions he got this information. That is the revelation of this book. is without any doubt a great bounty of Allah, and it contains great admonition for the people, but only those people can benefit by it are those who believe in it.